Welcome to How We Heard It, the podcast about music, pop culture, movies, and more, with your hosts, Wayne Bledsoe and Chuck Campbell.
Hello there, this is Chuck Campbell with
Wayne Bledsoe.
And John Baker.
John Baker. So, about half a year ago, back in the summer, I had the great idea of let's do a way too early preview of the Grammys, what we expect the Grammys to be. And part of that was because we came off the Grammys and Taylor Swift had won Best Album and Jay-Z had gone up and pitched for Beyonce should win Best Album because she still hasn't won one. She's been nominated 4 times and she's won more Grammys than anybody. And anyway, it looked like it was going to be those two facing off again. And it was earlier in the year because Beyonce released an album, Cowboy Carter, in March. And she was number 1 for a couple of weeks. And then Taylor Swift followed up with Tortured Poets Department. Oh, this is going to be hard. Hey, everybody, I don't have my notes. I'm just going to go ahead and say it now. I don't have my notes, so I'm just going by what I can pull out of my brain. But anyway.
Don't fly too close to the sun.
I've already done that, and I'm on my way down, so let's see what I can get in here. But the bottom line is I was projecting that Beyonce and Taylor Swift would be facing off again with the possibility of Billie Eilish being the spoiler for those two. And I also threw in some other names that I thought could be contenders or outsiders, and they've kind of fallen by the wayside over the past half year. Eminem wasn't nominated for Best Album. He was nominated for Rap Album and some other things. Ariana Grande wasn't nominated for Best Album. She's in some other categories. Katy Perry, she fell flat. I mean, she absolutely bombed. She tried to do a sexy Katy Perry album and people just weren't having it. So too bad for that. Lady Gaga said before the show she got mixed up in the Joker movie and whatever that was all about. So she's not out there. And my favorite one who fell out of contention is Rihanna, just because she didn't release an album. And the thing about Rihanna, it's like all year long you can find stories like Rihanna's teases on new album. Rihanna teases on a new album. And that's what I love about her is she just sells makeup and doesn't really care. And she'll do an album when she feels like it. And she didn't do one. So all of those fell by the wayside. But we still have Beyonce and Taylor Swift and Billie Eilish, and 2 others have come up that I didn't mention last summer. One is Chappell Roan, who just had a phenomenal year. It was just unbelievable. And I had thought that her album had come out way earlier in 2023, but it turns out it did come out in the right time frame to be nominated for this 2025 Grammy. And then the other one is Sabrina Carpenter. And think about Sabrina Carpenter, she's been around she's like 25, but she's been around for 10 years. She was a Disney TV star, and she's been doing music. I think she's had 6 albums already. But she just had a super big hit that just propelled her into the stratosphere. So I'm mainly concerned now about what are you laughing at?
I'm mainly concerned about these women that have been championing.
These 5 women. I want to talk about these 5 women.
I'm going to talk about the guys, so go ahead.
Oh, there aren't too many guys to talk about, and I'm going to go ahead and dismiss them. As far as the album of the year, those are 5 of them. Okay,
Your ideas are stupid.
My ideas are stupid. That's
if you're going to talk about Andre 3000, forget it.
I'm going to talk about Andre 3000 because it's such a weird thing for him to put on there.
So weird.
And it's like, I like it okay, but it's like the only reason it's on here is because it's Andre 3000.
Yeah.
It's.
Exactly.
I mean, with anybody else who would release this, it would have never gotten nominated.
Right.
Not that it's not a good album and it's not interesting, but it's like totally out of the blue.
Yes.
And totally different than everything else. And the other guy that's nominated, I like a lot.
Do you?
I do, and he may be my.
I don't. Jacob Collier.
Yep. Well, my friend Dwight Campbell introduced me to him like a year ago when he released the Mahogany Sessions video of Little Blue.
Okay.
And that's great. I mean, the one with Brandi Carlile that's on the album, it's a good song. I mean,
okay.
But when he does it with that, in the Mahogany Sessions, they've got like a choir, a church choir, and all these musicians. it's just flat out beautiful. I mean, it's like tearing up the end of it kind of beautiful.
Well, I mean, it's an ambitious. It's 4 volumes, and volume 4 is nominated for some reason. And I've tried listening to it, and it's like I always had too much energy at the time.
It's kind of overwhelming.
It
I
is
mean, that's the one thing about
it.
He's
a British singer.
He's a British singer, and he's a young guy. I think he's in his 20s, but he has so many guests and so many different styles on this album that I like it, but it's almost too much.
Yeah, it is too much. And he's not going to win. And
no, he's not going to win.
He's not going to win. But I'm going to throw a woman in the fire, too. Charlie XCX, her Brat album, it's probably a lot of success for her. She had a really good year, but she can't hold her own with these other 5 that I'm focusing in on.
Just boring.
Charlie XCX is boring?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Okay.
But
wait, what did you hear of her?
I listened to...
if you listened to 360, that was terrible.
360 and a couple other things.
What you missed, she did a duet with Billie Eilish, and it's called Guess.
Okay,
and it's Billie Eilish is really macking all over Charlie XCX.
Oh, really?
Charlie XCX, and Billie even says, I know she's into guys, but she should give me a try, kind of thing. So that's the one you should have heard. But,
I like Billie Eilish. I just thought that Charlie XCX was dull, and I really do. It was funny on Sabrina Carpenter. I keep saying Carter because of Cowboy Carter.
Cowboy Carter by Beyonce. Yes.
Yes. But Sabrina Carpenter, the first thing I listened to was the thing that's nominated for Record of the Year, which is which one is that one? Espresso.
Yeah.
I knew you'd love it. And it's everything just about... All she needed was a bro country guy trying to rap in it to give me everything I hate in one place.
Oh, no. So you didn't like that Doja Cat song from a few years ago then either, the one I was obsessed with?
No.
Yeah.
No, I remember you loving it.
She's a legitimate contender, though, so... We'll talk it out.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So what I wanted to do is I wanted to take these 5 women. And one thing I absolutely love about this is these 5 women are all so different from each other.
They are different.
And it reminds me of I saw someone say, I don't know where it was, but they said maybe the women will cancel each other out and Andre 3000 will win. It's like, are you kidding me?
No.
That would be like going back to the 70s when you had 4 men and 1 woman and saying the 4 men will cancel each other out and the woman will win. It's like these 5 women are very different from each other. They all have strong fan bases. Some overlap, but not completely overlap at all.
But on Record of the Year, do not dismiss the fact that the Beatles are nominated, and the Beatles could easily win it. Ugh. Yes, they could.
Paul McCartney's probably kind of broke.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, 2 pennies to rub together.
That's the thing. It's never, okay, this person needs it that gets it. But sometimes it's just like the most name recognition. That's what gets it sometimes.
Do people today recognize that name?
I believe they do. I believe they still do.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
look at reaction videos, and these people, I've never heard this Hey Jude song before.
Oh, I know.
They react to that. It's like, oh my God.
You mean that's Paul McCartney that was in Wings?
Yeah. That band he was in, Wings,
Yeah. But there's that possibility because when it's something like that where people have so much, good feelings about them and have had these feelings for years, that's a possibility, even though it's an okay song. It's not a great song, but it was kind of a nice little coda.
Okay.
So anyway, we're done with that. You can talk about your women.
Yeah, we can come back. Listen, what I want to do is I want to talk about who we think is going to win at the end. I want to start with the things that each of these women have going for them, and then I want to throw some dirt and say what each of these women have going against them. Okay. And then we can get into the categories, and you can throw in the Beatles or, whatever you want to throw in. I don't care. Knock yourself out.
Those artists you listen to.
Yeah. Those artists, so-called artists or whatever.
There's a Y chromosome. I'm just dismissing them right off the bat.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk with Taylor Swift, right? We've talked about her a lot. She was our first episode. We talked about Taylor Swift. And something I said last summer is like with the momentum that she has, which is phenomenal, is like how can you just suddenly say, well, she doesn't deserve it this time? Because she was like everywhere because she was also dating Travis Kelce of the Kansas City Chiefs, and they won the Super Bowl. So she had all that going on as a sideshow to releasing this album that was #1 longer than any other album. I think she outsold Beyonce like 7-1 with her album. Wow. So, I mean, she is just a freight train, just chugging along. And I don't know how you stand up and say she doesn't deserve it now. But I mean, people will. But I'm just saying that, what she has going for it is just momentum, so much momentum. She had a huge tour. She's been knocking herself up the list of the most, number one songs and most songs, top 40 songs
Right.
of everybody. So she's climbing the list there. She's just 35, so she theoretically has even more to grow. So we'll talk about what's working against her later. But do you have anything?
Well, I mean, you're talking about these artists just as entities as opposed to the categories that they're listed in, because so many times it doesn't matter that they're the biggest thing out there.
Right.
Somebody else wins the award.
I know. Yeah, I'll get to that.
Okay.
And yeah, you can jump in there too. But and I'm also looking at it not how I would even look at it to vote, because the thing about the Grammys, and you were nominated for a Grammy Award.
Right.
We should mention that again. We didn't. Yeah. Okay. Well, I stole
Only
that.
thing
from
I had to say.
Oh no.
Thanks, Chuck.
I did it on purpose. I don't have any notes on anything, but I took the one thing you were going to say.
I'll think of
And
something.
the honor was just being nominated, which means I didn't win.
Right. But you got to go, and you took your daughter, and what a great experience. And you became a voter in the Academy or Association or whatever it is.
Right, I did.
Okay. So I'm looking at this in terms of voters, because there's not any one criteria you have to use to vote. You can vote however you want.
Right.
If you want to vote for what you think is the right person in the right category, you can. But you can just be, like people used to vote for other people on their record labels back when record labels were a big deal, or vote against someone they just didn't like. You know, it's like anyone can vote however they want. So
Who votes?
Anybody that's a member of the Recording Academy. And that's the thing is you don't know. I mean, you have to be nominated and then approved.
To be a member of the Academy.
Right, you have to be nominated by people who are already members, or you have to be nominated for an award. If you're nominated for an award, you automatically get in. If you are, two people nominate you who are already members, then you can get in, and you pay $150 a year to be a member.
Okay.
And it basically helps you. You're able to vote.
Right.
And that's your only function as a member.
Yeah, there's other things. I mean, I was on nominating committee for 3 years for album notes. You do things like that. But other than that, no, not much. But all sorts of people are members, and a lot of those people have not heard the things that they're going to be voting on.
You don't even have to hear them.
Right.
So that's why someone like Andre 3000 is kind of, a lot of people aren't going to listen. I mean, everybody loved Outkast,
Right.
And he's a very beloved figure in the music industry, but you didn't have to listen to it, and you hear it's an instrumental and it's kind of,
ambient
arty,
kind
and
of,
it's like, I'm just not even going to listen to it, especially when you get all these big women, like knocking down in the same category. So,
but, like I said before, I mean, it's like you never know.
No,
I mean, it could be somebody out of the blue.
Well, that's what we're going to try to figure out here.
Okay,
maybe.
all right, okay.
So we're going to move on to Beyonce. Okay, she did Cowboy Carter. I mean, it was a really ambitious thing for her to do a country album. Okay, and I know people had problems with it. She had so much resistance from the country roots, of like she doesn't belong here and all that stuff. She did it anyway.
Right.
And I think CMAs blew her off this past year, so they didn't give her any nominations. But she went to number one with this album, and she also went to number one on the singles chart with Texas Hold'em. And it was the first time a woman of color topped the country chart. Right. 2024, that's how long it took for a black woman to be on top of the country chart.
Yeah, and they still didn't like the idea of it, but
some people didn't, right? But it trotted in a whole new group of people who were interested in what Beyonce was going to do.
And traditionally, the Grammys have picked people that CMA Country Music Association ignores.
Right.
There'll be a big
good for Grammys,
alternative. I know and a lot of times my favorite country album of the year got nominated for a Grammy, but not a CMA.
Yep. Well, that's what's happened to Beyonce here.
Right.
So she's got all that. She did have a lot of success with it. She, she got Dolly Parton's approval. Mm-hmm. She brought new fans into country music. And then there are some negative things that we'll go into later. But anyway, she's there. And like I said, this is her 5th Album of the Year nomination. Mm-hmm. And she has yet to win Album of the Year. There have been others. I know Eminem and Lady Gaga are two of them, but I don't have my notes. But anyway, there are a lot of artists over the years who never won Album of the Year, so there's no guarantee she ever will. But this was a big move on her part. It was
a big move, but
dramatic.
I think. I mean, you're talking about backlash later, but I do think there's enough backlash that I don't think she's going to get it.
Well, we'll see. We'll see, and maybe you're right. So anyway, let's move on to Billie Eilish. I want to lift them all before I say nasty things. So let's move to Billie Eilish. I think she's remarkable. She is a Grammy darling. She has an amazing voice. She has a brother who's a great producer. They've created these whole soundscapes that nobody else sounds like, and the lyrics are very, smart, but also very touching. And one of the best things about how she's been playing stuff is she's kind of always there, but she's never overexposed. Yeah. She kind of like drifts in and out with another song, and never just like bang, bang, bang. You can't get away from her. But she's always on some level, since, she was a teenager. And she's 23 now, so it wasn't that long ago.
She did a James Bond movie song too.
Yep, she did a James Bond movie song. She did the Barbie movie song. She did, she would go back and forth between kind of snippy, kind of punky type songs, and then these big soundscapes like I'm talking about. Yeah. And "Birds of a Feather" is one of the songs, one of the most beautiful songs they've done, and that's one of the ones nominated in the song categories. So I could easily see how people are like, if you're just like, I'm sick of this Taylor versus Beyonce crap, I'm going to give it to Billie. Yeah. And I think the Grammys have done that several times.
I think it's a very good possibility.
Yeah, she's a safe bet, but she's also, she is pioneering. She's deserving. You can't take away from her that she's not deserving.
And she's extremely likable.
She's very likable, yeah.
I mean, it's easy to like her music. You kind of like her personality because she takes no shit, but she's not always like trying to get in the news for something controversial.
No.
So I think she has a really good chance of doing really well.
I do too. She always has a chance when she's at the Grammys. I think.
But I think this is a year where what you're saying that Beyonce and Taylor Swift fans may X themselves out.
They may.
But I think that she is my favorite to win more awards.
Okay. Well, I think you're maybe right.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's move on.
Okay.
To Sabrina
Keep
Carpenter.
Going.
Sabrina Carpenter, 25. She's, she uses sexy, and she's, conventionally pretty, and she's got a great personality. I mean, I was looking for controversy about Sabrina Carpenter, and all I found was they did a video. A priest let them do a video in a church that he wasn't permitted to do, so he got in trouble and blah. That wasn't really related to her. Right. And I found a video from a concert. And I thought, oh, this is going to be something dirty or something, something mean. And she doesn't get off that vibe at all. She just seems kind of,
She does.
And I should say she started on Disney as a teenager, and she's done like 5 or 6 albums. She's just been sort of in the periphery as far as that goes. But people know who she is. You know her when she's only like 5 foot tall. And that goes back to this video I saw. It was like, it was taken by a mom or something of this little toddler girl at a Sabrina Carpenter concert. And Sabrina's on the stage, like right in front of the little girl, and the little girl's talking to her. And it's in the middle of a big show. And Sabrina Carpenter opened for Taylor Swift too. So that's not to be... they've got a good bond there, so that helps. Not to be dismissed. Not to be dismissed. But the little girl says, "I want to see Sabrina Carpenter," and Sabrina Carpenter goes, "What?" She goes, "I want to see Sabrina Carpenter," and she goes, "That's me." And the little girl is just looking at her like, and she goes, "What? Did you think I would be taller?" And she is 5'0", so wow. that was cute. But anyway, that's the kind of person she is. She's very accessible, very very cute, but very mainstream, not aloof, or anything like that. And then the song Espresso, I think that's what's powering her, is that it was such a huge... That was the song in summer, apart from the Shabuzi thing. Yeah. And sometimes, like, one song will propel an album into categories and stuff. And a lot of times it's, 10 great songs, and sometimes...
Well, but that one's not... That one's nominated for Record of the Year, but it's not nominated for Song of the Year. Song of the Year, she's nominated for Please, Please, Please.
Right.
Which I like better.
Right.
And she drops in, an MF in there.
You're like a smart guy, and you know how to break down music, and you know that Espresso is a great record because of the production values and all the other things,
Right.
other than just the basic song.
Yeah, it could the song. They can sort of say, yeah, the song can kind of suck, but you made it sound so good.
Exactly, and that's what record is. Record of the year is like, oh
It's
my
the
God,
truth,
it had
yeah.
a great guitar work in it, or I love the backing vocals, or it's all that stuff. Song of the year is like a good singer can go and do a great job with that, And
Yeah,
I don't know if just doing a straight up cover of Espresso would be as good. But that's beside the point. I love the record. I think it's a great record. And the last one I want to talk about is Chappell Roan. That was such an exciting. I've not seen a phenomenon like that was so all consuming and just so sudden. And it seems like if you look at the timing, in March, Beyonce came out. She did her country thing. She got a couple of weeks at the top before Taylor Swift came out. And then Taylor Swift was number one for like 14 weeks. And then, meanwhile, Billie Eilish kind of slipped out in May. But when those three had kind of not really past peak, but they had kind of leveled off. Somehow, Chappell Roan, I think late spring, early summer, it was just everybody was just finding out about her, like one person at a time. And the first time I heard her album, I thought, this sounds like a greatest hits album of songs I've never heard before. It was just like an amazing collection and one great song after another. She's got an amazing voice. She's a great songwriter, very coy but funny and smart, and she's an artiste. She's like her stage presence and look and everything is just well designed. Her videos, and it was just like out of nowhere she was suddenly, and I didn't even know which song to focus on, because it was just such a big. I've not seen that kind of breakthrough in years where someone just all at once was everywhere. So.
Well, I don't even pay attention to top 40 radio at all.
Right.
But I was at the Bonnaroo Music Festival this past summer, and I had never even heard her name before.
Right.
Until one of the younger women in our group was saying, "Oh, we're going to see Chappell Roan tomorrow." Right. And I was like, "Who's that?" And they were like, "Oh, we're going," and everybody was really excited about it. And they showed us the Hot to Go dance, and we all learned it, and we all went out to it's the second biggest stage at Bonnaroo.
Yep.
And the field was just packed to the gills all the way out. And everyone was singing every song, and I had never heard of her the day before that.
Right, exactly.
It's like,
and
it
that's
just
kind of how people
exploded.
found out. Yeah, I was talking to friends. If they knew her, they were like going through all of her songs all at once. And if they didn't know her, they're like, "Where do I start?" And I'm like, "I don't know." It's just like
My wife was just obsessed with her.
Yeah. So
Well, I mean, one thing to also point out that we've talked about it before is Chappell Roan and Jacob Collier and Teddy Swims, who's nominated for some stuff.
Yeah.
They all started out on YouTube. They put stuff up on YouTube. They caught on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then they got record labels.
Yeah. I mean, that's how a lot of people
how things
started
get discovered
That's
these
just,
days.
yeah. I mean, I think Justin Bieber maybe one of the first ones who did that.
Yeah.
But yes. So that's all the good things I want to say.
Now we're gonna trash them.
Up your
Out
sleeves
come the
and throw some
knives.
dirt here. So let's backtrack. Let's go through the same list. Taylor Swift. What could work against Taylor Swift?
Well, Taylor Swift is just. I mean, she is. You can't get away from her, and I think that there's a backlash of people just tired of her.
She's a Taylor Swift fatigue.
And an explosion only lasts so long.
Yeah, and she's still writing good material.
Yeah.
I don't know why she has to have Post Malone and everything now. He's on everything this year. He was everywhere.
He did one with Morgan Wallen.
Yeah, he was everywhere.
Yeah.
But
he's a good singer, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's
the guy
fine.
with the tattoos all over his face?
Yes. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, I don't dislike him. It's just like he showed up everywhere.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think there's a lot of fatigue on Taylor Swift, and I think that this may be the year that she gets snubbed.
Right. I think she's got... I don't know if she'll be snubbed completely.
No, probably not.
She'll get record. And the thing is, she's won Album of the Year 4 times, which is already more than anyone has ever won it.
I don't think she's going to go broke.
No. She's got a couple of pennies she can give Paul McCartney.
Yeah. Well, at this point.
So, but I mean, and is that fair? I don't know. It's like someone is still. She's now at this high standard of where, well, you got to be even better. You got to be better than you were before. She could put out the best album and still lose, just because people are just tired of giving it to her.
Yeah, but I mean, once you get to, you've got her and Billie Eilish, who I think are kind of equally talented, even though Taylor's been around for a lot longer.
Yeah, a lot longer.
Much bigger body of work. But I don't think it's just because she's this big, and she is good. I don't think it's unfair if she doesn't win all this stuff. Because there are these, I mean, like I said, Billie Eilish in particular is up there with her.
Yeah. Well, I agree, and I think was this album, it becomes too much for people, apart from her fans, who are half of the country, I think. So she's got millions and millions and millions of fans who, listen to every song, take notes on every song, and discuss them and all that stuff. But is she kind of leveled off, where she's at this high level, of course, but is she getting better?
I don't know. I think she's at a level where, I mean, I don't hear her expanding that much.
Right.
But I think she's at a level of competence and just, talent.
She's just in this high performance zone.
Yeah, where she's not going to release something. She's not going to let anything come out that's not good.
Right. And ideally, the voters are just going to listen to all the nominees with no prejudgment and then just pick the best nominee. Yeah. But that's usually not what happens.
And I should let people know, if you're a voter, you get links to all the albums. You get links to everything. Right. So you can...
No excuses for not listening.
Right. You can go listen to it. You can, read the liner notes, everything about it. You can check it out.
Right. Well... So I think the thing that will probably work against Taylor Swift more than anything is just... And she did have... after so much all-consuming press and everything between football and her boyfriend and the album and the tour and the singles and all that stuff, she did kind of the tour went to Europe. Yeah. The football season ended and the tour went to Europe, and she kind of, not that she didn't, she kind of got a little quieter as the year went on.
Yeah. At least in the States.
At least in the States, right.
Well, I mean, as far as people appreciating her... Again, I mean, not that they've stopped appreciating her, but, if she went away for a little while, when she came back, she would be huger than ever just because, people are waiting.
Yeah. They're just waiting.
Yeah.
They're just waiting. Yeah.
But they've never had to wait on Taylor Swift too long. No. She's always had product.
She's very, very industrious and enterprising.
Same thing with Beyonce.
Yes, Beyonce. Now we can talk about the critical things about one thing. One thing about Beyonce is she. I find this hilarious that the people were trying to protect the integrity of country music against Beyonce. Yeah. It's I think that genre has less integrity than most any genre, and
over the past 10, 15 years.
Yeah. And there are alternative country artists who are fantastic. We've talked about them before, but they have a hard way getting into the mainstream. And there are still some good people in the mainstream, but there's so much sound-alike music from this genre, and so many hacks in country music. And somehow they think someone like Beyonce is going to diminish it somehow, It's
but that's part of country music. Even when the country music was great in the 60s and the 70s, you had resistance to the Byrds playing the Grand Ole Opry when they released Sweetheart of the Rodeo, which is a classic album and was way more country than half the stuff that was coming out in Nashville at the time. Anybody that tries to come into Nashville, I mean, when Bob Dylan came into Nashville, there was resistance, but he brought people into the recording studios because they showed what great musicians were there, so that everybody in pop or rock started going to Nashville and recording with all these A-list players in Nashville. Right. But there was a lot of resistance at the time.
There was. And she, there was radio resistance and everything, and she still got her number one, and she brought people interest in her music, so interest in country via her music that weren't interested in country before. So that helped. And it helped.
And it may not be a great country album, but it's as good as anything that I've heard coming out of Nashville proper. What the main commercial country radio, her album is every bit as good as anything I've heard coming out of there.
And lately. And to be fair, I mean, her album is, of course, it's not a traditional country album, but
parts are pretty close. I mean,
and she certainly has legitimate country roots. I mean, she was from Houston. Yeah, I think her parents are from Alabama and Louisiana, and and so she grew up on this stuff. So she does know country music,
and people ignore the historically the contributions by black artists and how some of the greats started out influenced by black music. The father of country music,
right?
Jimmy Rogers was basically just singing blues and throwing in a yodel.
Right. But one thing else I will say about Beyonce is it feels more like, I don't want to say gimmick, but it just feels like a thing she did.
Yeah, it's
very
not
going to change country music. I don't see it as pioneering changes in country music. It's a Beyonce album, very country infused, but it's a Beyonce album that I don't think is really going to change country music one way or the other.
Yeah.
It's just going to be something that happened. I don't know if she's going to continue on with it, but I doubt it because she did the dance album, like old disco, or old dance music last time around.
Right.
So it's just sort of like she's going from thing to thing and doing things because she can. So one, it's an accomplishment to be able to, do something like that. But on the other, it's like, I don't know what kind of lasting impact you're going to have on anything like that.
Yeah, I don't think she's going to have any at all. I think it's a novelty for her.
Yeah.
I think it pissed off the country music
Good
establishment,
for her.
and I'm happy about that.
I would vote for her for that alone, honestly. Like, piss off the country establishment, go for it,
But I don't think it's as good as Billie Eilish.
Right. Well, one thing else I want to say, too, about the Beyonce thing is the whole Jay-Z, to some extent Kanye, these people trying to shame people into voting for her.
Yeah.
And I had said it last year. If I was like sitting there thinking, well, do I want to give this to Billie Eilish or Beyonce?
Yeah.
And then Jay-Z says, why haven't you voted for Beyonce for Best Album? I would go, Billie Eilish. It's like I'm not going to have anyone shame me or guilt me into voting a certain way. And I think that's working against her more than it's working for her have these people try to shake down other people for their votes. I think she should win. I've said before many times, her album Lemonade was amazing. It was definitely the best album of the year, one of the best of the decade. Right. She was robbed by not getting Best Album. And the winner, who it was Adele, it was like her second or third win or something, but it was Adele. And Adele got up there and said, Beyonce should have won this. She was definitely robbed there.
Right.
But if she doesn't win this one, she's not being robbed. It's just they're not making up for what she should have had by now. Yeah. And I don't think that's a good reason to vote for it. I get it, and I understand when you feel like someone's not being rewarded for their work, but at the same time, it's like you're just there's like this perpetual thing that goes on. If you're constantly making up for past slights, then you're slighting someone else this year. So then they would have to turn around and give one to Billie Eilish when she's 40 because she didn't win when she deserved or something like that. So I hope she wins one. I really do. And I think she's certainly got the talent to do it. But, I don't know if this it's going to be really hard because she's been very polarizing, not entirely of her own fault.
Well, what the Grammys often do is they nominate somebody that in the country division, and they take the country division, and it pisses off Nashville. So,
right.
So that I suspect
everybody wins then.
I suspect that's what's going to happen.
All right. Well, so now we've got Billie Eilish.
Right.
Okay. So things that might be working against Billie Eilish is this newer album wasn't quite as big a deal as her previous albums. It didn't hit as big, and it did kind of slink in behind Taylor Swift and Beyonce. So she was. But that's what she does. She's just always there doing her thing. So it wasn't quite as successful. And Billie Eilish, who does normally avoid any kind of controversy and everything, she was sort of in something, I don't know how to, she's been very LGBT friendly and LGBTQ, et cetera. And she had a boyfriend, and she broke up with her boyfriend, and then she started turning her attention to women. And she said, I thought everybody knew. She did lose, hundreds of thousands of followers, but those are like worthless pieces of garbage anyway. And, she's got millions and millions. So what if a couple of 100,000 bigots leave or whatever because she just said, well, I wasn't trying anything. But she's been very forward about it in some of her songs. The song Lunch from the new album is... I could eat that girl for lunch, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, she's throwing down. And same thing, I was talking about the Charlie XCX song where she's talking about, they're talking about what kind of underwear Charlie XCX has. And so she's not pulling any punches there. And that can work against you to a degree, but, good for her for being herself and for,
I don't think that's gonna affect Grammy voters.
Probably not. No,
I don't think any of
that would affect CMAs maybe.
Maybe,
I don't think she's ever going for that.
Yeah. Well, CMAs have just gone off the deep end.
Yeah.
But I think that
I think the thing that's probably working the most against her is one. She is the darling, but I do think they're thinking, oh, maybe this one wasn't as great. And I think there was some. I think "Birds of a Feather" is a great song. I think the song "Blue" is a great song. I like the song "Lunch." There's a lot of good music on this album.
But I think what happens a lot of times is, I mean, what you're talking about, how sometimes it's they didn't give it to the person that when they deserved the album.
Yep.
And then they give it to him later.
Yeah,
she's got the momentum that's growing.
Yep.
And it's very strong and it's very consistent.
Yep.
And I think that may be the thing that pushes her across.
She's been growing by increments. You know, she's constant, just like slowly climbing more. More familiarity with her. More awareness of her work, and she and her brother are both growing as songwriters and producers and all that. So
yeah, this ain't Christopher Cross when he had "Ride Like the Wind" and it was like a big album. And
no,
then
it
disappeared.
definitely isn't. And she's just 23, like we said. I mean,
right.
It's like she's already got all these awards to her credit. So
yeah. I just think that she's got the. If I were betting, this is who I would bet on. I don't think it's like the odds on any of these people are good enough to risk the house, but I think that's
maybe the car.
Maybe the car.
The used car, yeah.
But
that's already paid off.
Beyond those two, with the possibility of Taylor Swift and Beyonce canceling each other out a little bit from those things, I do think because of the momentum, Chappell Roan has a good possibility of taking it.
Well, hold on.
Okay.
There you go. But
I'm jumping over you.
Yeah. We jumped right over Sabrina Carpenter, and she's only 5 foot tall. So
well, it's easier to jump over her then.
Not much of a jump. No. Even with the big blonde hair. But so Sabrina Carpenter, I think what's working against her is she's not an outstanding performer. She is a personality. She's she's a lot of fun. She's very relatable. She's very, I think probably the most approachable of all of these people, all these women. I think she's the one that more people could probably relate to in some way or another. But she's not an amazing singer. There's not, I think Espresso is a great song. I know you don't like it, but it does what it sets out to do. And I don't think that she's got the full album backing her the way the others do.
Of everybody nominated, I think she is the lightest.
Yes, she's a lightweight.
Yeah. And
it's hard to give it to a lightweight this year when you've got these heavyweights staring each other down. Still be tempting. It'd still be tempting because I'd love to hear her speech if she won. I mean, that'd be fantastic. I don't know, But anyway, I do see some hope for her maybe in some of the other categories, but this one's
young, right?
Yeah, she's 25.
Okay. Well.
So yeah, she's been doing this for like 10 years. That's what's crazy. Is she's nominated for Best New Artist, which we'll get to later.
Oh yeah, we got some.
And she's got 6 albums behind her now, and she's been doing music since she first started on Disney 10 years ago. So it's crazy, but she's broken through. She's gotten bigger and bigger every year, and this year was her biggest. And
I've heard of her, so that means
well, there you go.
Because I don't pay attention to Top 40 at all.
Probably 10 years ago, you were still a teenager, right? So you were watching Disney.
Chuck, you know exactly how old I am.
Yeah. So yeah. But anyway, and then we got Chappell Roan, and there's something about Chappell Roan that makes me uneasy, and I think part of it is Billie Eilish has kind of a coolness to her, but Chappell Roan has a bit of a aloofness or something to her.
Well, she's from the Midwest. She's from Missouri.
She's from the Missouri, right?
Yeah.
Billie Eilish is from L.A., so
Yeah.
But I was looking. Chappell Roan, she got so much success so fast, right? And she was supposed to. Her big launch was supposed to be in April of 2020,
right?
Which was just the worst time ever. Yeah. So she ended up being kicked off her label and everything. But if you look back over some of the things, I hope I can remember this. This was all in my notes. But if you look back over, early on, sometime in the summer, she started getting real testy. She's very reactive.
Yeah.
And it's not even wrong reactive, but it's just too reactive because it's like too often, and you got these other people who just kind of cruise along and they don't let anything get to them. And she was letting a lot of stuff get to her. And you can't blame her. But The first sign was like she felt like people were stalking her and her family.
Right.
So she got on social media. It's like, I worked too hard for this. Blah 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 blah. Don't get in my space, and don't. It's like, okay, she's establishing boundaries. I can understand that. And then the next time, what was it after that? There was her family. Oh, she had exhaustion, so she canceled a couple of days of shows or whatever. It's like, that's fine. She has been busting her butt. She's been working really hard. And then after that, she got into fights with photographers. And there was one who said, F you. So she said F you back at him. And then there was another one that apparently was someone she had a confrontation with before. And then she went up to him again at another red carpet and said, and just right in front of all the other cameras, said, you were very disrespectful for me the last time, and I deserve an apology. And she stood there for minutes trying to browbeat this photographer to give her an apology, and I think he finally did. But then
good for her. I kind of respect that.
That's what I'm saying. It's like a lot of this stuff is like,
you're kind of wrong.
It's not wrong.
It's just too much.
It's just like red flags.
Well, but part of this is what you were just saying to start it out with about her. Is this happens so fast? I mean, it's not that...
Not many people are prepared for that.
Right. And she's like become a star so fast. And her crowds have gone up so fast. Yes. And, the photographers, people are not prepared for the paparazzi.
Right.
Because they follow people
nice
everywhere.
Her,
No, they're trying to get a reaction so they can get some unique shot.
Yeah.
And when people are just thrown into it, and I have plenty of sympathy for her because it's like she doesn't know what hit her.
What do you know about the politics stuff?
Oh, I can't remember what she said. She said something.
I can tell you. She was some interview. She gave a very nuanced opinion about politics and voting and all of that stuff. And of course, not knowing how the game and everything, she was being taken out of context and taken out of context. And at first, people were thinking, "Is she supporting Trump?"
Right.
And so then she clarified, and in her clarification, they said that she was like a kind of like a centrist elitist, an entitled elitist who's just like making fun of or who's like, picking on both sides and blah, blah, blah. So then she had another reaction where she said, basically what it is she's to the left of the Democrats. The centralized power of Democrats weren't left enough for her. She wasn't happy with their record on trans rights. She wasn't happy with their seeming indifference to Palestine and all that stuff.
Right.
So she said, I'm not endorsing anybody. I will vote for somebody. And then she got frustrated and she was banging her and she said, F Trump. And she said, I'm going to vote for effing Kamala. She said, but just like the Republicans have all these things I don't agree, there are a lot of platforms I don't agree with on. Yeah. And she goes, I don't know why people don't understand it. And she was just like really just sounding off. And it's like, dial it back. She just, if this is happening too fast.
Yeah. And it's like when, and I don't mean she's like a child, but when little kids are asked questions that become celebrities and people pick them apart, and it's like, they're not used to this.
No, she's not used to this, and it's been too much.
Yeah.
But it's just, I'm just saying it's red flags that she's going to really F up here in the future, and she's going to say something, I think she'll keep her fan. You look at Sabrina Carpenter, who's just going to... She's kind of an Olivia Rodrigo type, very laid back and just whatever and funny and all that stuff. And the other ones are more high-strung, but they step back. Beyonce, she'll let Jay-Z talk for her. Taylor Swift will let her publicist talk for her, and they stay away from it. And right now, Chappell Roan's just been in the middle of it, trying to swim her way out. She'll need to.
Yeah,
but I think it's kind of a lot of people like their celebrities to be, just on that smooth sailing, kind of unrattled by anything.
Well,
not mad all the time.
The dangerous thing is if she becomes like an Amy Winehouse.
Yeah.
Where, of course, Amy had all these drug problems and everything.
Yeah, I don't think she has that.
But once people found something to pick at, they picked at her the whole time.
Yeah.
And
that's what she's inadvertently doing. I think she's giving them ammunition to use against her.
Yeah. And I think, she seems, from what I've seen of her, she seems smart enough that she will back up and say, F these folks. I'm going to just be quiet about that to some extent and be a little bit more calculated.
And you want to support her. you want to support her saying her part, and you can certainly understand. As a Gen Z woman, a lot of them are like, the Democrats aren't moving progressively enough for me, and I don't feel good about that, and it's like to have that taken out of context. First, pivoting her to being a Trump supporter, and then demanding that she endorse Kamala, and she didn't want to do. And she said, I will vote for her, but I'm not going to endorse her. And I don't know why you don't understand that. But
and I don't think that's, I don't
she was
think that's
basically
so
saying it's the lesser of two evils, and people don't like that when you say that.
Well,
But anyway.
Anyway,
I'm just saying
she needs a publicist.
She needs a good publicist. She
trusts.
She needs to enjoy her wealth and her fortune and all of the fans that she's got and do great music because she's fantastic at it.
Why would anyone want to be famous?
I don't know. But anyway, okay, so got the pros and cons. You want to just knock out the...
You want to just go through the list and then we'll decide what
we can go through the list.
Let's do that.
We start with...
let's
start with Best New Artist.
Yeah, because we haven't talked about a lot of the Best New Artist nominations.
And I really think it does come down to Chappell, Roan, or Sabrina Carpenter. Of course, the other big three we're talking about aren't in this category. I think Benson Boone's had a lot of heat on him. He's kind of a... not alt rock, but he's sort of a folk flavored kind of. Have you seen him? He's young and
he's a young guy. I thought his stuff was pretty unremarkable.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, it was. I've heard so much stuff like that, and the lyrics to his songs were like, this is okay for a guy just getting started, but being nominated for Best New Artist, I thought was way out of his league.
Well, I do think Shabuzi had the huge hit.
Yeah. And Shabuzi is a lot more interesting, and that's a good country song.
Yeah.
But I still don't think it's anything...
Nigerian American based in Nashville, right.
But I don't think it was anything great.
No, it's not anything great. It's a great sing-along song.
Teddy Swims, though, I think he is the guy that may have legs of all these people who are nominated. I think he is a really, really good singer. He's got soul. He's basically kind of going back to, kind of classic R&B pop sounds. And I get something out. He's one of the people on this list that I would go out and buy his record.
Okay. Well, I don't think Sabrina Carpenter is going to win just because for 10 years she's been doing this. And but I think it's Chappell Roan's. I think it's hers to lose.
Well, let's go over the other people, though, that are in it.
Okay.
I've never known how to pronounce her name. Doechii.
Okay.
And I think, when it comes to clever raps and stuff, I thought she was pretty good. I like her stuff.
I thought... okay, go ahead.
I thought that was, I was kind of surprised that I liked her.
Right.
I thought her lyrics were more clever than what else, the most of the stuff I'm hearing rap-wise. And, I thought...
that's saying a lot.
Yeah.
know?
And then, and I have no idea how to pronounce it, Kwanbin, is that how you pronounce it?
Krungbin.
Krungbin? Yeah, well, it's Thai for airplane, which I didn't know. Right. And that is just a real surprise. I mean, I give kudos for nominating them just because they're so different.
They were at Bonnaroo past summer.
Did you like them?
One of the best shows I've seen. I'd seen them at Bonnaroo a couple of years back, too.
All right.
I've been hip to them for a while.
Well, they've been around since 2015. They've been around for a while. Mm-hmm. So, nearly 10 years.
They've been around as long as Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah. But it's, as Shelby Lynn proved when she won Best New Artist, and she already had a country career before she got nominated for an R&B album, that doesn't matter. It matters when you hit.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening here. But I thought, listening to them, it's like, I was impressed that they were nominated just because it's something that is so different.
Right.
And, mostly instrumental.
Right.
But really, good music.
Wayne, I'm real proud of you for digging in and exploring these people because, I just think most people are going to look and say, oh, Chappell Roan, well, that's it. They're not even going to listen to these other artists.
Well, the other one that we haven't mentioned is Ray.
Okay, you're going to go Ray too? Wow.
Yeah, and I like
the whole sweep.
Well, I think she's very old school R&B.
Yeah.
And that has a chance of winning just because of the nostalgia factor as far as that kind of music. She's a great singer.
Right.
I don't know that. I don't know how much of a chance she's got, but having that nostalgia factor. I like her. I could listen to her. I wouldn't go out maybe and immediately go buy her album because it doesn't sound different enough for me.
Yeah, I don't know if she's breaking any ground.
No, I don't think she is. It's very much kind of nostalgia to me.
Right.
But she's really good.
Right. But I mean, there are good people on here.
Yeah.
Like I said, I just think it's a lock. I just don't see how people are even going to listen to half of these.
Well,
artists.
Sometimes they surprise you, but I think I
Maybe
agree.
I
think
they do sometimes because it's like, what was the one the other? Like all the big names were nominated, and then some. Just a couple years. Where are my notes? Yeah, just sitting here. I don't know. Whatever. Okay. Well, you want to move to, say, Record of the Year?
Record of the Year. Let's go.
All right. So tell us why the Beatles should win.
I'm not saying the Beatles should win.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying that is a very good possibility. I think that, my list of who might get Record of the Year, Beatles, Billie Eilish, Taylor Swift.
Beatles Now and Then, Texas Hold'em, Beyonce, Espresso of Sabrina Carpenter, 360 Charlie XCX, Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish, Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar, Good Luck Babe, Chappell Roan, and then Fortnite by Taylor Swift with Post Malone.
Right. Yeah, I think the Beatles have the best shot. Really, I really do. Just because
Beatlemania is sweeping America.
I'm just saying,
I've
just
heard
because
of it before. Who are these Beatles you speak of?
Just because of the way the Academy has always been, but
nostalgia is very powerful.
Yeah,
and the fact that Paul McCartney.
Well, it took some magic to record it.
Of all the posthumous Beatles songs, there's 3 of them. Mm-hmm. It by far turned out the best.
Okay.
And it was. I mean, when I saw it, it was like. Because it was put out with this will be the last thing released by the Beatles.
Until we find more.
Well, I don't think that they will. I mean, there may be things released that are, come out of the vault.
The sound of Paul McCartney scratching his chin.
Well, yeah. I mean,
it's okay to let it go and not do any more Beatles songs.
Well, that's what they've said. They're not going to actually, do anything where they all sing together or play together, which I think is good.
I want to talk about Not Like Us for a minute. Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
I love seeing Kendrick Lamar on here. I think he's the best rapper in the business and everything. This song is such a hard-hitting diss track. He and Drake were going back and forth.
Right.
And in this one, he's just talking about Drake and allegations of pedophilia and all this stuff. I'm just like, but I thought, wow, I'm surprised they nominated that. And then I remember, oh, that's right. Drake has slammed the Grammys left and right.
Oh,
so it's like,
I didn't even know that.
They're going to go for it. They're like, yeah, we'll give this to Kendrick. So I thought that was funny because at first I was like, I'm really surprised a diss track would get nominated for a Grammy, but it's the dude who's been slammed.
There you go. I didn't realize that. Yeah, that makes sense now.
I do think Birds of a Feather is a strong possibility. I think Billie Eilish is always going to be.
I think that's my second choice.
It's a wonderful song.
It's a good song.
I love the chorus of it. And I don't think the Chappell Roan song, Good Luck Babe, I don't even know if that would be one of my top 5 songs on her album. I mean, it's a good song.
I like it.
But there's so many great songs on that album, and that's when it's like, oh, that's the one that they've elevated. And I think it's because it's just slightly more conventional than the others.
Yeah.
And not quite as, subversive as the others, so that might be why it's out there. I don't see that cutting through. Charlie XCX, no way. I do think Sabrina Carpenter is a possibility because of the construction, because the producers, everybody involved with that song made it what it is. It's not just her doing an amazing job on an amazing song, but
definitely not.
It was such an earworm. It was like. I don't know. I mean, I do think it's a strong possibility, but I kind of feel like that's going to be Billie Eilish.
Yeah, I think if it's not the Beatles, I think it'll be Billie Eilish.
And I don't think it'll be Taylor Swift. I don't think she's going to win this. It's like she can win album. I think she's always going to be a contender for album, but I don't think this particular song really stands out in any way, even with Post Malone on it. And he's a great singer, but I don't think Taylor Swift. And I may be wrong. They may just give everything to her.
They may,
because they do that sometimes.
The Taylor Swift stuff that I know, I mean, it didn't stand out to me as like one of her best songs.
Right. Speaking of songs, do you want to talk about any other record of the year?
No, I'm done with the record of the year for sure. You want me to read the songs of the year since you did
Sure,
that? Okay,
yeah,
all righty, okay. Shabuzi with A Bar Song, Tipsy. Birds of a Feather, Billie Eilish. Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars, we haven't talked about this. Die With a Smile. Good Luck Babe, Chappell Roan. Not Like Us, Kendrick Lamar. Please, 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 Sabrina Carter. And Texas Hold'em by Beyonce. Carpenter. Did I say Carter again?
Yep.
Yeah,
Carpenter. I can't stop it, man.
I'm going to have her come take you out.
She's only 5 foot tall. She can't
putting
do
her
it.
down and getting her name wrong. What disrespect. Yes. Good thing it's not Chappell Roan, because
she would hit me.
And
but I might like it.
There
no, anyway.
So what do you think of this? I think it's telling that Sabrina Carpenter, that they put this one in for Song of
What
the
did you call her?
Sabrina Carpenter?
Carpenter.
I'm starting to mess you up.
I can slur it.
It's the Mucinex talking.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't think anytime when something's nominated for Record of the Year and it's a different thing nominated for Song of the Year, unless it's a big sweep, that you're going to do it. And Please, Please, Please is a much better song. Even though
it's a better song, but
it's still really light.
Yeah, it's already showing weakness by being here with the other song in the other category, I think. There's Kendrick Lamar again. I'd love to see him win. A lot of overlap here between the other category. And I think overlapping, I can see Birds of a Feather winning this one too.
Yeah,
I
can too.
It's an amazing song.
Well, so. I do think, while I think that's probably going to win, and that's what I would probably choose from all these, I think that this is where Beyonce may have a chance.
Texas Hold'em?
Yeah, even though I don't think it's a great song. I think it's an okay country song.
It's an event song, though. You know, it's just one of those, she can pull that off.
Yeah.
What do you say?
What are we talking about here? Song of the Year?
Song of the Year.
Song of the Year.
And the last one was Record of the Year?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Album of the Year?
Yeah.
Album of the Year
what is the
coming
distinction between an Album of the Year and Record of the Year?
The
record is for one song.
But then what's the difference between Record of the Year and Song of the Year?
So we just talked about that. Song of the Year just is the song itself. It goes to the songwriters.
So anybody could do a good job with that song. The Record of the Year goes to everybody. It goes to the production. It goes to the instrumentalist. It goes to...
This is why I don't care about the Grammys.
Yeah. It's, mostly Record of the Year. I'm thinking producer.
Yeah. And Song of the Year is like that songwriter.
The songwriter.
Yeah.
Right.
Is there like Singer of the Year?
Yeah, but we don't talk about
the
those. Yeah, there's like vocalist, top male vocalist, pop rock vocalist, all that stuff. Okay. There's like 90 Grammy categories.
That's why the Grammys last like 4 days.
They don't last 4 days, but it starts early. It starts at like at 2 o'clock.
When am I going to get to see my friend Wayne on stage?
It's never going to happen.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, that makes me like the Grammys even less.
Well, listen, Neil deGrasse Tyson read my name at Madison Square Garden. That's all I need.
All
that's all I need.
Bravo. Good on you.
Well, speaking of, so you can die with a smile. We haven't talked about this, like you said. The Lady Gaga, Bruno Mars, I think it's a garbage song. It's something they put out just in time to be nominated.
Yeah.
And it's just so pat. It's just like, and I like Lady Gaga, and I like
both of them, but
it's like, oh man, y'all just phone this in to get up on stage, and
I feel the same way. It's not a very good song, and I like both of them, well enough, but.
And they paid for this advertising for it that I hadn't really seen on most of these other songs, but where if you went to YouTube at all, this came up, no matter what you search for it. It was a paid, promotion, and it's just them starting the song. And every time that would come up, it'd be like, what is this? I didn't want to hear this. And I realized, oh my God, they put a lot of money into like getting this song out there.
Yeah.
So what's your pick then here? Was it Billie Eilish too?
Yeah, it's Billie Eilish. And like I said,
I think we kind of agree on that.
Yeah, and I'm saying that Texas Hold'em, it may, just because they're going to throw her a bone.
Yeah, I think they'll give her Best Country Album.
Yeah, I think they'll do that too,
which is like the best bone of all since the CMAs blew her off altogether.
Yeah, but Billie,
I think everybody that we're talking about is going to get a little piece. Maybe not Sabrina Carpenter.
Well,
Carpenter.
Is it her name? No. Okay. Now, album of the year.
The album of the year, yeah. So,
okay,
I've dismissed 3 already, but maybe you didn't.
Andre 3000 has no chance, I don't think, just because. And I'm just amazed that it's nominated. Jacob Collier, now that is a dark horse possibility. Just because, remember when the soundtrack for "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" won?
Right.
Out of nowhere.
Right.
People did not expect
What
it.
did it beat?
Oh, gosh,
Did
I
it
can't
beat
remember.
anything like a Taylor Swift album?
It beat some big folks, but I can't remember who all was up. But
Right.
there was a lot of folks up there, and it was like a total surprise. So that's a real dark horse. I'd give it, it may be a 50-1 sort of a thing, but it's possible and it's good. It's just like we said before, it maybe is too much, and he's not like all over the radio.
No.
But I'm just saying that's a dark horse possibility.
Right.
I really think that either Billie Eilish or Taylor Swift will probably win it.
Right. I think that Beyonce's just got too much working against her.
Yeah, I do too.
I think that it was, by all accounts, it was a pretty amazing thing she did. I didn't really like the way she revamped Jolene. I know Dolly gave her Jolene, Dolly Parton. One of the best lines is, just I'm begging of you, Jolene, Jolene, Jolene. I'm begging of you, please don't take my man. And Beyonce saying it, Jolene, Jolene, Jolene. I'm warning you, stay away from my man. It's like, no,
that flips the meaning.
Yeah,
right?
totally changed it.
It's like you don't have to be strong all the time to be as weak as Dolly was willing to be, and just to throw.
That's the thing that
herself
makes that song
on the
stand
mercy.
out.
Yeah.
Is the unusual stance that she takes.
Yeah.
Don't take my man just because you can.
Yeah, I think the best thing to do either remake that one with the original intent or don't remake it at all.
Yeah, it bothers me when people change the lyrics to things like that so drastically and change the meaning of the song. It's like we talked about Hallelujah before. Like it's about sex, it ain't about Jesus. Sorry.
Right. I agree that Sabrina Carpenter's not in the mix here. I do think it's probably between Taylor Swift and Billie Eilish, and I think Taylor Swift has the edge. But for me, the dark horse is Chappell Roan. If I was voting, I would vote for Chappell Roan just because that was so uniquely good, and
Just heard it everywhere.
You heard it everywhere.
Especially now we're walking down the street and you hear it coming out of a car.
Yeah, and every song sounded different from every other song on that album.
I was at a wedding; they were playing Chappell Roan. I agree that's a possibility.
I think it's the most noteworthy album on here because, of course, Taylor Swift and Billie Eilish, they've been doing this, and it's like they're good, but like Chappell Roan is just like not anything else, on here.
Yep.
So she needs to get it, before she says something stupid.
Before you say something stupid, Chappell.
Before she loses her temper again.
Throws her Grammy at somebody.
But all things being even, I'm just going to say it'll probably be Taylor Swift after all, because I just don't think they've got enough reason. And I think that her quiet period, I think it came at a good time because now the nominations have come out and they're not as overexposed to her. So, I don't know. I mean, I do think she's got a good chance to lose, but and like I say, if I was voting, I would be Chappell Roan. I got nothing against Taylor Swift or Beyonce winning either, but I think it's probably Taylor.
Okay. We're ready to do recommendations?
Are we?
I don't know. I mean, I'm still deciding on the music I'm going to recommend.
Okay. Well, I'm not still deciding. I just don't have my notes. I'm going to say Luscious Jackson from 1996. This is a really interesting, it's an all-woman band from New York City. They named themselves after Lucius Jackson, the NBA player from way back. And these women, they have such a good foundation in like even jazz and soul and funk, but also pop and rock. And there was someone who I remember this from my notes, even though I don't have my notes here. They were described as a mix of Hole and Indigo Girls. And it's like in any world where you can figure those two being a mix, So and they had Kate Schellenbach, who was in the Beastie Boys. Or with the Beastie Boys when they were getting started out until who was the producer? We talked about this.
Right, Rick Rubin.
Rick Rubin, yes. Rick Rubin kicked her out because he didn't like women rappers. So that's something he can be embarrassed about. But they ended up getting signed to Grand Royal, the Beastie Boys label. I think they may have been the first act to sign to Beastie Boys label. It's, again, 4 women. they were kind of all over the place. In 1996, Daniel Lanois, I think, produced their first album, the 96 album. They had kind of a wild EP that was a little rough around the edges that came out before that. And this one, I think some people criticized him for making himself too much a part of the process, but I think it works great. It's got a lot of great songs.
What's the name of the album again?
It's Fever In and Fever Out. And Naked Eye was the biggest hit on there. Great kind of a pop rock, ethereal song. They also had a real funky rock, Under Your Skin, which was great. And then in 99, they had an album called Electric Honey, which had the song Ladyfingers on it. And it was a bit of a flop. So they were quick burnout. And I think one of the things working against them was like radio for rock women was fading out, and you were either falling into the rock male format for radio or the Lilith Fair, and they weren't really in either group.
One of those.
Right, and they kind of lost their backing, and then the labels were quick to get rid of them. And they did come back in like 2013 or something with an album. But these two, especially Fever In, Fever Out from 96, but also Electric Honey from 99.
Why don't you do yours? I'm still trying to find out what the name of this album is I'm going to recommend because I can't remember the name of it.
Well, every week there's just somebody that just kind of landed in my lap. And last week, or maybe the week before, I can't remember, but I mentioned a band called Mapache, M-A-P-A-C-H-E. Kind of southern country rockish, kind of Birdsy, Graham Parsons, that kind of thing. Okay. And I just stumbled into this guy, Sam Bledsoe, and he was a member of Mapache, B-L-A-S-U-C-C-I, Sam Bledsoe. Sorry. And it's real 60s, 70s piano rock. It reminds me kind of maybe like a Carole King album.
Okay,
or
not Carole King.
Yeah, but it's real piano-based, real laid-back pop music, but it's really easy to listen to, and it just really hit me. Sounds kind of like maybe a little bit of Elton John in there.
Oh, cool.
Not so much Ben Folds, but it's much more 70s. It's real stripped down. The production's really good. The drums are super dry.
Right.
There's like the piano's main thing. There's a bass and maybe an electric guitar adding a little something in here and maybe a flute.
Is this a band or a soloist?
It's Sam Bledsoe.
Okay.
It's one guy.
Okay.
And the album that I've been listening to is called The Real Life Thing, and it's from 2024.
Okay.
They have an album called, has an album called Off My Stars from 2023. I haven't listened to that one yet. But Real Life Thing by Sam Bledsoe.
Okay.
I've really enjoyed it.
All right. Cool.
And I want to recommend a 2017 album by a guy named Skip Shirey. And Skip is spelled S-X-I-P.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
he used to come to town on a pretty regular basis. And he had
What's his last name?
Shirey. It's S-H-I-R-E-Y. And the first time I talked to him, he did a song that was played completely on like a plastic tampon holder. And he made it into a flute. And he had all sorts of different, crazy instruments. But this 2017 album, A Bottle of Whiskey and a Handful of Bees. You would actually like it, Chuck. It's got Rhiannon Giddens on it. It's got, there's a great song on it called Bach, Stevie Wonder, and Janelle Monáe.
Okay.
Which is about how whenever he's in, feeling bad, he puts on Bach, Stevie Wonder, or Janelle Monáe, and everything gets better. But it's like he's got all sorts of wild and crazy guests on it, and there's like gay club dance music with stuff that sounds like it could be in a circus. And Rhiannon Giddens does some songs. Oh. She does vocals on them.
From Alabama Shakes?
Carolina Chocolate Drops originally.
Oops, sorry.
Now she's
wrong state.
Yeah, now she's on everything, or doing everything. But it's a really, really good album. I played every track when I had a radio show. I played every track off of it, and it's like not that every song could be a hit, but some of them could be hits, and every song on it was like at different times was my favorite song on the album, and that's always a good sign when you have an album that's like, no, this is my favorite song, and then you listen to it 4 more times, it's like, no, I think this is my favorite song on this album.
Okay.
So anyway, it's a great album. It may be hard to find, but I'm sure it's out there.
I just found it on Apple Music.
Okay, well, not hard to find at all then.
Very easy to find.
Very accessible.
But yeah, good stuff.
Well, Wayne, you got a movie or a TV show or something?
I'm going to recommend a 1977 film called Sorcerer, which is the film that director William Friedkin made right after he made The Exorcist.
Okay.
And it was a huge, huge flop because everybody expected from the name Sorcerer that it was going to be another like supernatural thing. And what it is a remake of the old French film from the 40s called The Wages of Fear, which is about men who are driving 2 trucks, each one filled with an amount of unstable dynamite because they're having to take the dynamite to put out an oil fire at a refinery, and they expect one of them might not make it, so they've cut it up into 2 shipments.
Okay.
And it is one of the most suspenseful films you will ever see.
Okay.
My girlfriend was beating the hell out of me while we were watching it. And she said, I have never seen anything like this. And it is wonderful. Roy Scheider is one of the main characters. And I read a criticism about it not too long ago about the beginning of it being too long because the beginning of it shows you the background stories of all the men who are going to be driving these trucks. Okay. Which I think is great because it takes you from where they are to showing you why they are in this horrible place in South America that nobody would go to unless they were escaping something. Okay. And by the time you get to the end of the movie, you will have holes in your chair because you'll be gripping it so much. It's great.
All right.
And it's got some gore, a little bit of gore in it, but not too much. But it's all about the suspense and the characters. The characters are. You follow them. They're all disreputable people, but you want them to live.
John?
My wife and I have been enjoying the Apple television series Shrinking.
Okay.
That's Jason Segel, Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They're psychologists in a group, and it's funny. But it's got a really good heart. And Jason Segel, there's something about, he's a main director and writer in this thing, and there's something about his sensibility that you think he's going to go to a cynical place, and then he turns around and just goes to the most human and kind place he could possibly go to. And it just...
He's shown flashes of that. I'm glad he's kind of embraced it.
But I really recommend it. It's funny and touching at the same time. Good,
cool.
Good mental floss.
And which streaming service is this on?
Apple TV.
Apple, okay.
All right, I'm going with the movie Thelma from 2024. If you haven't heard of this, it stars June Squibb in her first ever lead role at, I think she's 95 now. And she plays a 93-year-old in it. Mm-hmm. If you've got, and Richard Roundtree's in it also, and it was his last movie. He passed away soon after they filmed it.
That's a good assumption.
Yeah, not before, not during. But
not Weekend at Bernie's.
This is really a surprising movie. It captures a lot of the humor of the kind of reality that old people face, a lot of older people face, where they can't work their phones and they can't work computers, and they're always fooled by advertising that pops up as something they think is, but it's really kind of touching because it addresses kind of the reality that you face when you get older and older and more limited and more kind of pulled out of being just part of the regular world, so to speak. And she's got a grandson in this movie who's always a very kind guy who's always helping her and everything. She gets pulled into a scam, and she thinks that her grandson has been arrested or detained for hitting a pregnant woman, I guess, with his car. And she's got to get $10,000 together and give it.
It's an old scam.
Yeah, It's an old scam. And she's just running through her house and pulling cash out of mattresses and stuff. It's a dark comedy, and it's a comedy with a lot of heart. Richard Roundtree becomes kind of her accomplice in it, and she uses his scooter. She steals his scooter. And the thing is, it's not, these people all have hearts, and you're rooting for them, and you understand that life just gets different as you get older, and they've just adapted to that. And, but it's still really funny, and she's going after the scammers, and she's got no fears. It's like another thing about getting to that age is you don't care anymore. You're just going to do whatever. And it's just got such great humor. I can't remember exactly what happens, and of course I don't have my notes, but at one point they're walking away from something that explodes behind them, and June Squibb looks over at Richard Roundtree and says, "What?" And he goes, "I didn't say anything," and they didn't hear the explosion behind him. But it's a really warm. Parker Posey's in it. She plays her daughter. It's great cast, and it's just great to see like the oldest of the older people being so central to a movie that's not making fun of them, not patronizing them either, and
infantilizing them.
Yes, but it's called Thelma from 2024, and it's everywhere.
Cool. Yeah, I didn't know. I saw the previews for it, and I didn't know if it was going to be good or not. I couldn't tell from the previews. Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I trust you.
Yeah.
Well, I got one more.
Oh, okay.
That I just discovered last night. My father-in-law recommended it. It's on Paramount Plus, and it's Billy Bob Thornton, and it's called Landman.
Okay.
And he works for an oil company in Texas, and he's like the oil company fixer. Okay. And man, Billy Bob Thornton, I think I'd watch him read the phone book.
Yeah, he's great.
He's just fantastic, and I don't know, Landman.
Check it out. All right.
Go into it with no assumptions. That's the best way to go in.
All right. That's the best way to go into the Grammys, too. Bringing it back around. Sorry we didn't have our notes, but I think we got through it just fine. And congratulations to all the nominees and winners for the Grammys this year.
It's just an honor to be nominated.
It's just an honor to be nominated.
We look forward to the Grammy for Best Podcast. Best New Podcast.
Yes. That'll be us.
I'm hoping.
All right. Well, we're going to go off and write our speeches. So
thanks
for tuning in.
I think because Wayne's here, that's our shoe in.
Yeah.
He's already been a nominee.
Yeah, that's right.
I know. I mean, we're going to just ride his coattails right into it.
That's my plan.
Yeah.
That's my retirement plan. Ride Wayne's coattails.
You're in trouble.
My coattails aren't long enough for anybody to get on board. I'm sorry.
All right. Thank you.
You've been listening to How We Heard It with Chuck Campbell and Wayne Bledsoe, a podcast about music, art, culture, movies, whatever they want to talk about. How We Heard It was recorded in Knoxville, Tennessee at the Arbor Studio by John Baker. If you believe you've been abducted by aliens during the listening to this podcast, we take no responsibility for that. How We Heard It is a Tear Owl production, and if you'd like to reach out to Chuck or Wayne, send an email to howweheardit@gmail.com. Come on back next week and we'll have another show for you.